What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Criminal. This is episode number 59, and as we're kicking off the month of October for the in 2025, we're coming off the back of a pretty decent episode. 3 wins from three across three different competitions. We beat Swansea in the Carrow Cup as we look to retain our hold on that trophy. We beat Crystal Palace in the league, only just though, a side who had only scored 3 goals in the first 6 games. They scored twice against us, nearly snatched a draw late on. And then we beat Helsinki in our Europa League group to really put us in a good position in our Europa League group. And as we head into the first game of today's episode, we're facing Wolves away at Molineux, a side in the relegation zone, 18th at the moment. They're one of, I think, 5 or 6 teams who are winless. I mean, on paper, should be winning this game, but you can't win games on paper, that famous old saying. And of course, in our side, we feature a former Wolves player, Max Kilman, at the back. He came to us via Rennes, but yeah, he's at Wolves obviously in real life, and he's doing quite well at the club actually at the moment. He's a pretty decent player. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get snapped up in the next couple of years. As you would have seen there in the top left corner, Wolves, the lowest scoring team in the league. I think they have 3 goals in 6 games. But we know what happened when we played Palace, and they were the lowest scoring team. But anyway, Breland Bolo, the Swiss forward, he blazes just wide, and then from the goal kick, we go down the other end. Brennan Johnson, a lovely little ball roll, feeding Nico Williams, who bags his 3rd of the season, but his first goal since the opening day brace away at Brentford. So 3 goals this season for the Spaniard already, all coming away from home. Well, just a few minutes before half-time, that man in Bolo would get a chance, and he would equalise. The lowest scorers in the league manage to bag a goal. And, well, I just feel like it's weird as Wolves have a goal disallowed for offside here. I feel like it doesn't... On FIFA, tell me if you feel the same way. I feel like when you play on legendary difficulty, it doesn't really make that much of a difference whether I'm playing top of the league or bottom of the league in terms of goal scoring opportunities or conceding goals. Like there it says Wolves the lowest scoring team, so you just think you go in there, win comfortably, probably not conceding. But whenever I play these teams and they're like the lowest scoring teams or they have an awful defensive record, I just don't think those stats matter when I play them. And when a striker goes through on goal, no matter if he's playing for bottom of the league or top of the league, I feel like on this difficulty they just have a good chance of scoring regardless. So most of the time, I don't really notice a difference in terms of the quality of the team I'm playing against, whether they could be bottom of the league or top of the league, or in awful form or really good form. I'd say the only time I really notice a difference is when a team's newly promoted, and then I do actually really notice the difference there, and I tend to batter the newly promoted teams. But yeah, let me know if you kind of feel that same way. I feel like Wolves here. It doesn't matter that they were 18th and winless in their first 7 games. They gave me a really, really tough game, and they looked like scoring every time they went forward, which the stats wouldn't suggest. But hey ho. Anyway, sorry, going back into the game, after Wolves equalised, we would make it 2-1 and then 3-1. So after Wolves made it 2-1, but that goal was disallowed for offside, we came back to take the victory, and it would be another victory in the bag against a Wolves side who, I don't know, just seem to have lost their spark at the moment. In real life, I'd say like 4 or 5 years ago, Wolves were a really exciting team to watch. I personally loved watching. I think it was when Nuno Espirito Santos was there. That side he had was class, and Wolves were such an exciting attacking team to watch. And now, I don't know, I just feel like they're in a big transition. They've lost their big, iconic midfield Portuguese duo of Ruben Neves and João Moutinho. Obviously, João Moutinho they've released. Neves has gone to Saudi Arabia with a bunch of other players. I just don't know. I think Wolves are sort of losing their identity a little bit. I think there might be in a little bit of a rebuild. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of Wolves. If there are any Wolves fans watching, let me know what you think. As we head into the second game of the episode, and you would have seen a familiar face there, Reiss Nelson. He was part of the cash plus player swap deal for Alexander Isak last season. Isak obviously still out injured, but he will be returning soon, hopefully. Reiss Nelson, I think he's been doing alright for Newcastle. They're in 7th at the moment. You would have seen in the table, we are up to 5th as well. So very good start to our season. And this Newcastle team will always cause issues. We're a couple of points ahead of the Magpies at the moment. If we could get a win here, it would... I don't know. I just think like obviously we lost to Tottenham at home in September, but apart from that, we haven't lost across all competitions. It's been a really good start to our well, not just to our league campaign, to our cup campaign, to our European campaign. Perhaps this is the season where maybe we establish ourselves as a top four team, maybe even a title push. Who knows? Well, at the moment, Taiwo Awoniyi isn't bagging the goals, but this man is. Brennan Johnson. I had a couple of bids for him in the summer. I decided to keep him, and my word is he repaying that faith. Sixth goal in 8 league games already for the Welshman. He follows up his shot that crashes off the corner of the bar and post to volley home and give us a 1-0 lead. And then, speaking of smashing against the bar, Maxime Lopez just on the 11th minute almost makes it 2-0, but his shot crashes off the woodwork. Well, 27 minutes in, this was a game that we were dominating, to be honest, and Taiwo finds Johnson, whose first touch is beautiful, takes him away from Marcel, and he finishes top corner. 7 in 8 now for Brennan Johnson, and he found some form towards the back end of last season when he was rotating with Brereton Diaz for Isak's position. And he's just really made that position his own at the start of this season. 7 goals in 8 games. I think he might be the league top scorer now, the class from Brennan. Farias would have a really good chance just before the halftime break to half the deficit. That definitely would have made an impact on this game going into halftime. Dean Henderson saves brilliantly, and then just 6 minutes into the second half, Brennan would get his hat trick. Lovely through ball, and he finishes on his left peg to seal his and our third goal of the game. Maxime Lopez would find Taiwo Awoniyi, and the Nigerian, he's been up against it. The critics have been on his back. He's won the last 2 golden boots. That is just his second league goal of the season, and he is now 2 goals away from the 100 club, which will be an incredible landmark for him when he reaches it. He makes it 4-0 to us, smashing it past Nick Pope at the near post. And then the former Magpie Hosselu, who came on as a sub, almost scored against his former club here. Nice header one, but Nick Pope saves well. But it would matter not. We would see the game out, a 4-0 thumping of Newcastle, who were in and around that European hunt with us last season. They fell off a little bit, and that's just a really big win for us against a team that is around us. And we might only be in October, but these early games, to get those points on the board, I prefer, obviously everyone prefers to win games, but I prefer to be winning early and be up there rather than chasing. I don't want to be, like last season, we had a really bad start and we were chasing all season. This year, after 8 games, we're sat in third already. Really good start to our league campaign. As just before we head into our third and final game of the episode, I was looking at a few of the stats across the European competitions early doors. You'll see there, Talisca, former Nottingham Forest man, we sold him to Lyon in the summer. He's the Champions League top scorer at the moment, 4 goals. So the Brazilian's really enjoying life with the French club. As we will look at the Danish league here, obviously we're about to face Midlands in our back-to-back in the Europa League. They are sat in 4th at the moment in the Danish league. This team, I think, will be our biggest rival in this league. They've in our group, they have won both their games, just like us. So this back-to-back will be huge. If we can win both of them, we are through to the next stage of the competition already. But let's go one game at a time. First game in Denmark. Can we pick up some points? Oh, do you know what? I will take a draw or a win. I'd be happy with avoiding defeat and then going back to the City ground and seeing what we can do there. You would have seen as well in our emails, I mentioned his name a few minutes ago. Alexander Isak has returned from injury. He will still take, I think, maybe 10 days or so to return to full fitness, but he will be featuring again soon. He has been out for 7 months, can you believe it? It's been crazy, yeah. That's his second major injury already. We've had him for 1 year, and he's had... How long has he had? He had 7 months out and then 3 months out as well, so absolutely crazy. His record in the league, I think he only played half the game. If I can remember rightly, I think he only played 19 league games last season, and I think he scored 15 goals. So that conversion rate is outrageous. So if we can keep him fit for the rest of the season, he is going to be on flames. Well, he won't be featuring the side just yet, but we make plenty of changes as we always do in the Europa League. Bella Kotchap, Adarabioyo, Soufal and Richards the back line, Lopez and Phillips coming in, so Lopez keeps his place as we're a little bit short in our midfield positions. Farmer is in the cam spot along with Jacob Ramsey, and then Hosselu and Brennan Johnson up top. I like these two up top together. They're a good little partnership. I think the Hosselu signing was a pretty shrewd one, actually. Obviously, a free agent. We just needed an experienced striker, and he's been really good for us. He's given us that European experience, and he's helped Brennan along the way as well. Well, 17 minutes in, Dean would have to make the first notable save of the game. A really good half volley from the Midlands striker. And then 24 minutes in, Maxime Lopez would fire past former Huddersfield goalie Losil. What was his first name? I want to say Jonas. Is it Jonas Losil? No, actually, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, the former Huddersfield shot stopper doesn't really make an effort there. Maxime Lopez found at the back stick by, I believe it was Brennan Johnson, and the Frenchman gets his first goal of the season. Well, 10 minutes before halftime, Michelin would pass the ball around really neatly, and Dean Henson would be forced into a massive save. We would then go down the other end, playing the ball in between our forwards. Brennan Johnson, lovely little flick to Jacob Ramsey. And there's his first Europa League goal. Jacob Ramsey, he has been class for us in these early stages. Talk about good signings with Hosselu. Jacob Ramsey has been class. I thought he might be offside here, but Brennan Johnson's little cheeky assist there is onside. It counts. And Jacob gets his first goal in Europe for us. He's just been brilliant. Honestly, I've really enjoyed his addition into the team. Well, to be honest, all of our signings, Max Kilman's been class as well. Adarabioyo, when he stepped in for mainly the Europa League games, he's been class. And Hosselu as well. As we right on cue, the Spaniard would get our third goal of the game. And it looks like we are going to cruise to 3 wins out of 3 to start our group off in the Europa League. Well, 25 minutes to go, and the host would bag a goal back 3-1. Pretty poor defending here, actually. And then just a couple minutes later, they get a second goal, and all of a sudden, we've gone from dominating this game to we are on the brink. And when I say Midtjylland were pressing, they were pressing. It was like that classic meme of, you know, at halftime you're playing FIFA and you give the controller to your older brother and he takes over and he does really well. That's what I felt like Midtjylland did in the last 20 minutes. They just gave the controller to their Danish brothers, and I was just backs against the wall. It was lucky we had a 3-0 lead because they bagged 2 and they were pressing for the equaliser. I had to really hold on, but we did hold on critically, and we make it 3 wins from 3 as we look at the group here. Midtjylland stay on 6 points, obviously. Hajduk Split beat Helsinki in the first of their back-to-backs. So we know if we beat Midtjylland at home at the City Ground, we are through Group F with 2 games spare as well, which could be key because those games come in a busy winter period, so we can rotate the squads massively. Well, that'll be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed episode 59. If you're enjoying the series, make sure you drop a sub on the channel as well. Thank you so much for the support. I'll catch you in episode 60 very soon.